Hello, what is going on, guys? Hockey Guy 1 here. Welcome to my review of Onward. So, Onward is directed by Dan Scanlon and stars Tom Holland, Chris Pratt, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Octavia Spencer, and Mel Rodriguez. The story is about Ian, who pretty much just turned 16. He wants to be more like his father, and things don't really go his way, and he gets this magic staff where he tries to bring back his father but it doesn't work, and he only brings back the bottom part of him pretty much, and him and his brother Barley has to go on this quest to try and find this Phoenix gem so that he can try to bring his father back for a whole day. The story is very good. I mean, kind of bring a new element into a Pixar movie, as you don't really see magic being used in a Pixar movie that often, but what this movie does really well is an execution. I mean, just making it about a story of trying to get back our father that died when they were very young, and I really like that type of story. I mean, it makes it feel very heartfelt and very emotional for me. And I really think just that kind of story really works out for this type of movie, as it is kind of being kind of new magic kind of aspects. Well, they do have, as well as just trying to get their father back. I mean, just that really is a well executed one, and just how well they do this story and trying to get their father back just makes it feel very satisfying. The whole structure of the story is done very well. I mean, there's the first act, which pretty much introduces our characters. I mean, it kind of starts off in the way in the past, they're gonna explain this whole magic thing, and then first act does a very good job kind of introducing the characters, and a very good job showing what Ian does in his life and what Barley does in his life. Then the second act's pretty much where they try to bring their father back, and it doesn't work, but then they kind of go on this whole quest to try and find this Phoenix gem, and I do think that does really work out very well. And then there's the third act where no one really warned about this curse thing, and then they had to fight off this dragon, and then there's the ending, which is pretty much heartfelt. I mean, you can really feel sad because as they do get a few moments, and as well as just the whole ending where it kind of seems like everything changes, and it's a very good ending, and it feels very satisfying to the way this movie doesn't, because it's the way it ends basically as you see. I'm pretty happy, and you can get why, because I mean, they just kind of change, and it's just that it just feels very good as well since they do all these things. Pacing is very good. I mean, each scene feels like it serves a purpose, so that kind of keeps the flow of the story going, just taking it. It's very good pacing, and then as well as this film does feel like it does come out to the on time, and it does feel very satisfying by the time it happens, because it doesn't really feel like it gets too boring, and it feels like it's pretty fun, and it does feel like that each scene connects with each other to create one consistent story. Ian is a very well written main protagonist. I mean, you can kind of see at the beginning, it's pretty much, he just wants to live his life and just try and do new things now that he's 16, and he just wants to try to get his father back, but sometimes you can kind of see him grow throughout that. I mean, he's trying to do all these fun things with Barley, and being the source of magic, doing everything with magic, and just you can see that, as well as you can just see that over time he kind of grows to realize that Barley is basically the father that he never had. I mean, it's just something that he had fun with, and it's something he's never really had was his father, because he never got to meet him, and that's kind of what made him realize that he did have everything, because he was with him the whole time, and just having everything that he wanted to do with his father, but with him, and it just, that kind of character growth just really works, as you can really see how much he has hunted his brother and just kind of making it so they have like a good relationship to the point where he kind of realizes that he's pretty much like a father figure to him. Barley is also well written. I mean, he's basically kind of written as a history buff. I mean, he really just wants the town to remember everything about its past, like all the magic, and in this scene that as well, he just kind of has a few memories of his father, and just also kind of wants to make him like Ian, and just like how he is to Ian. He's been really awesome. I mean, the way he kind of helps him throughout the way, and just tries his best not screwing up, and just that you can really feel for him because his relationship with Ian is just very strong, and as well, just you can just see how his character kind of goes in this movie. I mean, it's very well written for him to like really want a history and just kind of protect it. I mean, I really like that kind of aspect of the character where you don't really want him to forget about the history of it, and it's just makes him feel kind of hard problem, especially when you like see how many memories he really has of it with his father, and that's just like really well written. Just how tries to help out Ian and just makes him kind of like feel like a father figure. There's Ian and Barley's mother, who is also a very well written mother figure. I mean, you can see how much she cares about him and just how much he really cares about both her children. I mean, he kind of goes away and she's like really trying to look for them, and you can just see how much she cares about it, and it's time well written. She kind of is that. I mean, she just has to try and run up the best she can, and just she has to try and look for them, and I do feel like that does overall really make her a well-written character. Voice acting is very good. I mean, Tom Holland does really feel like Ian. Just his whole delivery feels on point to what he's supposed to feel, and just he really sells each mood that Ian's supposed to be in, and I do feel like him all did a good job. Same thing with Chris Pratt. I mean, as Barley, just the whole voice he just really works, and just how he delivers his tone just really works. I mean, he also has very great chemistry with Tom Holland, as they both do work together very well, you can tell. And as well as all the other actors and actresses in this movie, I feel like most of them did a good job, and overall, I feel like that the voice acting was almost on point. The animation is just stunning. I mean, just looking at the character designs on each character just really looks good. I mean, especially if you look at the elves, and just making them look blue just kind of really works. I mean, the looks of it just kind of comes off as well. I mean, just looking at it, it looks really convincing. And then again, that the Manticore as well, that one looks like it was really hard to animate, and it definitely did look like it took a lot of time to do it, as it does end up looking smooth in the end, and as well as the movements of each character just looks very smooth as they move, more as it does look pretty convincing. And then there's the background designs, I'd say, they are just really stand out to me. I mean, just looking at each kind of house in the city, I mean, they kind of made it out of mushroom in the background, which I do feel like pretty much works for this, and I do think it looks well as well, and just as well as all the mountains, and you kind of see it looks very convincing, and each place they go to, so this looks very convincing, and each background design just looks very good, and seems like it works for the movie. That said, this movie does have its negatives. I mean, the humor is pretty hit or miss for me. I mean, it's not really focused on humor, but like when there is humor, I never think it's hit or miss. I mean, sometimes the jokes can work, and sometimes I feel like they don't really work. I mean, it's just kind of the case in this movie, because there's a lot of times I didn't really laugh at the jokes that really come out, but there's sometimes I did. So overall, I'd say they're pretty hit or miss. Then Corey, like that Manticore character, I mean, I wasn't really the biggest fan of her character. I mean, I feel like they could have done a lot more with her. I mean, and she is pretty much just kind of the Manticore, and just kind of like help her way to it. But after that, it's just kind of like forgets failing with his character is kind of like plot coincidence, and as well as just how Chan tries to basically do a bunch of jokes after that. I mean, it's basically what she does. And to be honest, I definitely wish they did a little bit more with her character and kind of like fleshed her out a bit more. Overall, Onward is another fantastic Pixar movie, so I'm gonna give Onward a 9 out of 10. That was my review of Onward. What are your thoughts on Onward? Tell me in the comments below. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.